Hello everyone. Today I am making over this Lazy Susan and I am using some of my favorite Granny Bee products to get this Lazy Susan prepped. Now you always want to degrease the wood and let it dry and then go over it with your sander, get it nice and smooth, and you can see how much better it looks after that. And now I'm going to get my surface of my Lazy Susan prepared. I'm starting here with beach sand and I'm brushing it on liberally because I want a nice thick coat, and I keep moving during this process because I use the wet paint to my advantage so that I can do some paint blending. And I always love to use Granny Bees as my base coat for all of my resin work. It is wonderful to use. And now I'm going in with Gatsby. You go in with a different brush. And again, I'm being generous with the coats of paint at this stage. And there you can see where I just start going over that line where the two colors meet. And you just want to keep going back and forth until you're happy with it. And if it dries a little bit too quickly for you, before you're happy with the blending, you just add a little bit of misting of water. But what I do is I start from the bottom and go middle and then to the top. And this is Leroy. Leroy is such a gorgeous dark blue color. It is one of my favorites. And here I'm now going to blend it. See, I was in the sun, so I needed a little bit of misting of water to get that paint reacted. And now I'm just going between the two colors and blending again. So you can always add more of the Gatsby or more of the Leroy, depending on how much you want that to show. And you can see just how pretty and soft and smooth those paints work together. Now I prepare the back of my Lazy Susan with a bit of tape before I do my resin pour. It does help with some of the drips and stuff off the sides, and it's just an extra precaution. Sometimes it just makes life easier when you have to sand later. So it's all prepped and ready to go for the resin. Now I go in with Bermuda. It's a liquid metal paint by Granny Bees, and it's so shimmery and so beautiful. It's my second favorite to the gold. And here I'm just adding a light layer of this sparkly paint over my painted layers. And I'm not being very careful. I just kind of want it to look, I don't want it to be even. I want it to be nice and just kind of let the paint go where it wants to go is basically what I'm trying to say. And this just adds an extra sparkle underneath my resin layer, and in the sun it just shimmers and shines so beautifully. But like I said, the liquid metal paints are just so fun to use, and they're so sparkly and concentrated. And here you can see how it looks. So again, it's not neat and tidy, but I don't want it to look like that. I kind of want it to look like this on purpose. And you can also use a bit of the liquid metal in the resin as well. It does add, it tints the resin for you and adds sparkle as well. And now I'm just pouring over my painted surface with my resin. I've mixed clear epoxy resin, and I used a little bit of the Granny Bees paint in there as well as some pigments to make it sparkle even more. And I'm going over the beach sand at the bottom with just the clear epoxy resin. I'm just preparing that for when I pour my white pigment for the waves. And I smooth everything out over the surface just so it's nice and even. And now I'm going in with my heat gun. I've taken that white pigment and just kind of sprinkled it over, or not sprinkled it, but put it over the resin. And now I'm using my heat just to blow it out into the blue and to create my waves. So this process is fun, and this is always a satisfying part of the whole thing. But I think that the waves are just going to look so amazing over those deep, rich colors I added using Granny Bees. Yes, it looks so stunning. And here it is all finished. And I wish you could see more of the sparkle, but it's hard to catch in the video, but it really is there, and it's amazing. And there she is, all set to go. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.